Let me just tell y'all how this little paper right here is teaching me so much about being a homeschool mom, and hopefully I can use this to help you all too. So when I was a public school teacher, I taught first grade for a very long time, and the expectations in first grade in the public schools right now are kind of crazy. Like in the middle of first grade, we're expecting these little 6-year-olds to be able to write a story with a beginning, middle, and end. And what's so crazy about that is that we complain about public school not being rigorous enough in some cases, but then you've got these little babies that have expectations that are not developmentally appropriate at all. But anyways, because when we started homeschooling, I was still kind of stuck in that public school mindset, I really placed high expectations on my oldest daughter. Like, I'm talking 3 years old, having her like write words and spelling and the whole 9 yards, which is not developmentally appropriate, mind you. And I was pretty hard on her back then, like that 3, 4, even 5-year-old era. Like I was way too hard on her. And unfortunately, I am now having to pay for that because my poor little 6.5, almost 7-year-old is now what I would consider to be a perfectionist and someone who's really afraid of making mistakes. And we are trying so hard to reverse all of the damage that I did in those early years, because it's very clear that I placed those high expectations on her that were not appropriate at the time. And now she has those same high expectations of herself to the point where she's afraid to make mistakes. So today we were doing this Valentine's Day acrostic poem, and I was explaining to her, you just have to think of a word that starts with a V. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about anything like that. Like, this is just a fun activity. And when I tell you all that we were stuck on this first word for like 25 minutes to the point where she was almost in tears because she wanted to spell the word very and she couldn't remember if it was a VE or a VA. Mind you, the word very is a sight word, right? It sounds like it should be VARY, but we all know it's VERY. But the point is, spelling didn't even matter in this case. This was supposed to just be a fun activity. And the anxiety that this produced for her because she couldn't remember, or she was worried to make the mistake of doing VE or VA to spell the word very, it consumed her. And then what's really funny is after she finally decided, she ended up just going with both, right? So this is the word very lovable. And I honestly couldn't even be upset with her during this moment because I am the reason she's like this. And again, we're doing a lot of work, both on myself and on her, to reverse this perfectionism and like help her understand that making mistakes is okay, especially when you're only 6 years old. You're not supposed to be able to spell a lot of these words. So I hope this is just a lesson to anybody. Like, I get a lot of comments on my videos and it's like, oh, I have a 2.5-year-old, I have a 3-year-old, what curriculum should I use? Oh, I really want my kid to be like top of the homeschool class. Don't do it. I'm not saying don't do curriculums with your young kids, but I'm just saying don't put such high expectations and expect them to do things that aren't developmentally appropriate. Let them know that making mistakes is perfectly okay. Now, because I've learned my lesson with my oldest, unfortunately, she had to be the guinea pig a little bit, but like my middle child, who is now 3 years old, I have not really put any pressure on her as far as academics goes. And she is the one who's always like, I want to do school. And she's trying to write her letters and she's trying to write her numbers without me even prompting. She just really loves doing it. So it just goes to show, like, if you can just naturally allow them to find that joy in learning instead of like pushing it and drilling it into them, I think it's a lot better.